So I want to first off say, before I even start the video, this is better than nothing. Okay, now I can actually say what is going on. So with patch 5.1, we're also getting some updates to the housing system. So we're gonna have wards 19 through 21 be added. Although if you want reality, you could have just replaced the word through with 20. And that would have actually saved you a few characters because we're getting 19, 20, 21 instead of typing all of through. You should have said just 20. But I can understand why they phrased it that way to make it seem a bit more than it is. Because yeah, we're only getting 3 new residential districts added to each one of those. And so this means with the sub-districts, with all of their housing areas, we get 3 districts in Ul'dah, Limsa, Kugane, as well as Gridania. And then each of those has their own sub-district. And so essentially what a sub-district is, if you're not too familiar with housing, is it's basically the exact same mirror image of the normal housing district, but it's rotated a bit on the map. But for all intents and purposes, it is literally the exact same thing. And so is this better than nothing? Yes, and I do stand by that comment. But at the same point in time, this is definitely not going to solve my issues that I have with the housing system. And actually, if you are interested in my full thoughts on like the housing system and the issues it faces, I actually have already done a video on this topic before in really good depth, and I'm gonna just put it in the description below. But regardless, we need to talk about how I really don't actually believe that this is actually going to solve much. So let's go first of all through all the housing districts. So we're getting 19, 20, 21, so 3 added to each. So let's go through the mist. And so the mist on the screenshot that I now have on the screen has 3 large plots and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medium houses. So when you're adding each residential district, you're adding a total of 6 large houses because you have the subdivision and the regular division, and then you're adding 14 medium houses with this. And so is that going to be significant? Yes, because what you have, let's do a little bit of math here. I can't do it off the top of my head. You're going to have 6 times 3 is 18 large houses added to each server for Limsa, and then you're going to have to multiply that by 4, so you have a total of 72 large plots added in total. And while that might sound like a lot to a lot of newcomers, we all know that we're going to have every crafter vying for their own personal house if they already have one. I'm going to actually get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty details later, but I really want to grind this point to the bring it up really clearly. So we have 72 total large plots on each server coming, and that might sound like a lot, but on Gilgamesh you have like every single crafter, you have every single FC that doesn't already have a large vying for these larges. And I can tell you based upon past experience, especially when you had the Housing Savage, and if I wouldn't get copyright striked, I would totally be showing you some of the videos because they kind of show the utter hilarity of it. And obviously at the time I wasn't on YouTube. I mean, this has been kind of like new starting for like 3 weeks, but point is, it was insane. You had people being toxic, you had people flaming, and it was totally out of this world, just crazy. So how I feel with all of this is that this isn't going to solve anything. I think, yeah, you're going to have 72 lucky people relocate their plot and get one of these large houses. Meanwhile, is that really going to help anyone on like the bottom who's like trying to get a house in general? Kind of. So what we need to keep in mind is that large housing is ultimately the housing that you really want. Truly, the sheer number of objects you can place, the number of gardens, you literally have 3 times as many gardens as a small house. Like, to put that into perspective, gardening when you only have a small house versus a large house, you are not competitive if all you have is a small. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna say you are not competitive in the market with that. And don't tell me with the way the Thavenarian onions blew up earlier, especially when this expansion was released, that wasn't a thing. Those people were making tons and tons of gil. So that's not even getting into just like the sheer tapestries that you can make with a large house versus a small house. And so you're gonna have a lot of people vying after them. I mean, there's even me. And this is where things get gross, because you have people like me who both have an FC and a personal house. And this is one thing that I do want to say that is said in the article. Let me just bring it up here and quote. We will evaluate the housing market and decide when to remove the restriction on sales to individuals. That might sound nice for FCs. Be like, hey, I have an FC and I really want to get a house. Here's the caveat. Individuals may still purchase wards in 1 through 18 of each residential district. So that's the exact same as now. The next point's the kicker. Players may still relocate any private or free company estates they presently own. So essentially, what what this means is, and to all of my subscribers, actually I'd recommend you do this if you want to vie for a large house in one of these areas, or maybe a medium. Get a house right now. I don't care which district it is in. In fact, I suggest you camp a house in Ulta's district. Get it? It doesn't matter what size it is, what it looks like around it, and then you can instantly relocate and get any of the new houses as a personal player. Meaning that FCs that say want a large house, I can guarantee you, I actually bet all my gil, and look at it right now, I will bet all of my gil to the first person that comments on this video. A lot of these large plots will be going to individuals, because I can tell you, I have no shame in telling you the housing system's broken, but I can also tell you, I will have no shame in trying to pick up one of these on my private, as like my private house. In fact, that's going to be the first house I switch over, because I already have a medium for my FC. So I'm going to be fighting to transfer my personal small to large for myself, not for my FC. And that is why this is fundamentally flawed. I guarantee you that within about probably the first 30 minutes, if even, that's even overestimating, that all 72 of these large plots are going to be gobbled up like just, I don't want to make a snapping noise because that'd be very unpleasant on everyone's ear, but you know, they're just going to be gone. Not even to mention mediums. And if I can't get a large on my personal, I'm going to be going for mediums, I guarantee you. And so is this really solving the issue? I think that it could be nice, because does this open up a lot of plots for other people who want these other ones? Yes, because let's take a look at how many mediums we have. We have 7 in this, and then let's say we have 7 times 2 equals 14, times 3 equals 42, times 4 42 times 4 equals 168. So you have a total of 168 medium plots being opened throughout the entire server. And again, we get into the fact individuals are going to be trying to relocate for these houses. I'm guaranteeing you this, because it's like, I know I'm doing it. And don't tell me that 168 houses on Gilgamesh are gonna last. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that they're gonna last on Balmung either. Like, we have seen very clearly that the demand for housing in this game is just through the roof, and for many very good reasons. Like, I think that one of the main reasons that I kept playing, I mean, it wasn't a content drought, but for me it was like kind of like a content drought for me. I just wasn't really into the combat side, but like that was what kept me going playing this game for like a good period there. Looking at this, we're not seeing a real alleviation of the problem. A small house versus a medium, the medium just blows it out of the water. And then a medium versus a large, the large is just uncomparable. You cannot compare it. I'm not even gonna apologize for that. You just can't. Don't play me that way, you can't. And so I think that this is going to be nice from the fact that it will give new players some chance to get a small house. But don't tell me that they're going to get a medium house, because they're not. I mean, unless they already have a house and they're going to relocate too. But don't tell me that if you have a new FC, like a bunch of your friends came from WoW Classic and they want to try Final Fantasy 14, don't tell me that they're going to be getting one of these mediums or larges, because I guarantee you individuals, since they can transfer, are going to do it. Can you blame anyone? Like, I'm telling you, I will be doing that. Like, I will be staying up all night just to make sure that I get this, and I will be fighting for a large on my like main personal like plot. And honestly, I don't really know what else to say from that. You can't. Fundamentally, I think it would have been better if you had it locked just to FC. And I think that that's something that, well, it might sound mean, because a lot of people, and I'm not saying that the individual player housing doesn't matter, but since you can let individuals relocate, doesn't that kind of defeat the entire point of this? Or at least I think that like this was an effort to increase the ability for like new players coming from WoW Classic to get an FC house. And I look at this and I'm like, this is going to literally blow up. And I really don't take pride in saying that. I want to be wrong. Oh my god, please prove me wrong, please. But the way I'm reading this, like, it literally has it in the third point. Players may still relocate any private estates. People are going to be all over this. It's a bummer. I can tell you that it's a bummer, because you know what? I know at the end of the day that a lot of people are going to be staying up until like 3 a.m. like our time, or 2 a.m. or whenever the servers come up. I can't remember exactly what time, but it's like super early in the morning last time the housing kind of had like a break like this, and they're going to be staying up all night. I guarantee you that there are going gonna be a lot of very, very, very disappointed people. And that might even be me. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That could be me too. And I really don't think that this is the solution. The more I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, would instanced housing be a better idea? Or what if I just said something crazy, and what if we just had an entire, like, multiple more residential districts just for large houses? Would that really be so bad? I mean, it's really nice to say, oh yeah, that'd be really bad if you already have one because you want scarcity, but it's just like, for players like me who do have the gil, who have played and really love the housing system, and that's the main reason why we play, it sucks to not have that. It's just like, hey, I want to be posting my stuff to the subreddit, I want to post my stuff to the YouTube channel of like what I can do with a large house, because I have a whole bunch of crazy wacky ideas. It's just like, I just don't have the canvas to even paint it on. It's one of those situations where it's like, this is better than nothing, but at the same point in time, dang it. There's no other way to say it, dang it. Anyhow, that is all for this video, and I have a bunch more coming up because I kind of fell behind, but there is so much news going on. Well, thank you all for watching this video, and if you liked this content and want to help support me, any likes or subscribes or comments would be super duper appreciated. How has your experiences been with the housing system? Are you looking forward to get a house? Do you already have a house and are looking to relocate? Which, for the record, I totally encourage you to do if you can do it. But what are your thoughts on it? Or how might you fix this? Because again, I think that this helps, but at the same point in time, it's not gonna fix the problems that we really have already. Anyhow, that's all for this one. See you later.